Hey guys, you're back with Welcome to the K. I'm Shine with Son.
And I'm VAF.
And please introduce yourself.
So I'm VAF. I'm a rapper and producer from Waterloo, Ontario. I've been doing music for about, 2022, 3 years. And I'm here with Sonya to do an interview.
Oh, good. And what got you into this line of work?
It wasn't anything really in particular. It was kind of like, I've been a fan of like hip hop music and just music in general for a while. And then one day, it was, I think 10th grade of high school, I was like, I can do this. Like, I can do what they do. Why don't I just try? And then now we're here,
Oh,
3
wow.
years later.
And how do you stay up to date with the latest music trends? Like, do you go on Instagram? Do you go on like this website?
Like how I
keep up
like
to
follow.
Yeah.
I'm on it. Honestly, I'm kind of bad with it. I'm always a little late with trends. Generally, a lot of it is through Instagram and TikTok. Actually, I get a lot of information from because that's actually it's the new thing, the new big social media network. So you hear a lot from people just sharing and then just watching what people do. So you hear about like take the whole new Playboy Cardi thing or whatever. Because he came up 2017 and just recently he's become like an A-lister and you see people dressing like him, sounding like him. So it's less so about what's popular in the moment, but what kind of lasts. So just being able to see what comes in and stays rather than what comes and goes. And then being able to take what's good about that, change it up a little bit, and then take it as your own.
Oh wow! And what techniques do you do to keep I'm gonna do that. What techniques do you do to keep your listeners engaged with you?
That's a tough one. I mean, obviously first one is just make quality music. So everything I put out, I put out something I'm proud of. So I very rarely put out music where I'm like, it's all right. I'll just put it out cause. And you actually see, I recently took a lot of old music down because I didn't think it represented me very well. I thought if new listeners heard it, they'd be like, oh, I don't want to listen to this guy anymore. But then in terms of like everything else, it's just being able to engage with people, making people feel like they're part of the community. I'm not the best at it. Most of that is on my TikTok. I try and I engage with the people. Because it's an easy content creation platform, right? You hop on the trend, you do a video, people like it, you make a couple jokes, throw your music in between. But yeah, the big thing other than just making good music is making people feel like they're part of a community and making people feel like they're getting value out of listening to their music, which is something I'm still working on. Because that's a hard thing to do, getting value out of art.
Yeah, that's true. And tell me about your music.
Well, yeah, so there's my music. It's changed a lot recently. So obviously it's rap music. I rap, that's my main thing. Recently I've been getting into singing a little bit more. I'm not very good at it. I'm not the best. I bought auto-tune. It's a whole thing. But yeah, in terms of like how I make music or how it just what the music is in general.
Like, what is your music? Like, do you normally just do more like, describe it? Is it more like lovey-dovey?
Oh,
Is it just about like serious things?
Well, when I started, which I think a lot of people do and then don't necessarily change out of, is it's just, you make like brag rap, like I'm the best, look at my chain, look at my cars, whatever. Which wasn't me. It doesn't represent who I am, which is why I took a lot of that down. And I try and not make music like that anymore, which is, it just comes sometimes. A lot of my music though, I have a lot of music that's intended to get people up, energized. That was on my first mixtape. I had a couple songs like that where the intention was to get people up, get people moving, get people energized. And then there were also a couple songs. Back in the day, I used to do a lot more sad like love songs, like oh, I'm so depressed, I'm so sad, like kind of Juice WRLD type thing, Juice WRLD influence. We were talking about trends actually. That's the trend. Juice WRLD's had some staying power. But recently, and especially in the past year, I've been working on a lot of like personal music that kind of just describes how I've been feeling recently.
Right.
Like my emotions, the new experiences I've been going through, everything with that. And it's been a lot more personal, and it's a lot more me,
Right.
Like, and that's the evolution as an artist that I'm trying to be on, is to be more wholeheartedly myself rather than trying to be somebody I'm not.
And how do you engage with like your listeners? You just keep constantly posting on SoundCloud, on Spotify, on Instagram?
Typically, I post on Instagram when I'm prepping for a release. I post on TikTok a lot. That's my main media platform. Is I make videos there. And then yeah, when I'm ready to release something, because I don't release stuff very frequently. It's once every few months, which I should probably work on a little bit, try and pick that up. When I do, I just push whatever music I'm putting out and hope people enjoy it.
I'll keep messaging you and be like, where's your new content?
Yeah, give me a message every week.
I'll give you a message every week. I'm pretty good on that.
Yeah,
like,
perfect.
And also, how do you think the internet has impacted the music industry?
The internet, well, it's done a lot, positive and negative. Because if we're talking about like just the internet, it's been an overwhelming positive. Because back in the day, back pre-internet, 90s, 80s, 70s, everything before it became a big thing, it was the only way to make music was to be discovered by a label, get signed, have professional musicians or engineers do your work, and release it under a label as physical copies. And that was it. If you couldn't afford to do any of that, you can't become a musician. You can perform gigs or whatever, but typically you're not going to become very successful. Internet comes along, right? First thing it does is it just makes music so insanely accessible, right? Like you saw that with the massive crash in the music industry economically, where they still haven't recovered when all the piracy was happening because of the internet, because of file sharing, and that showed the music industry they needed to change. They needed to innovate, because before they were like, oh, we'll just sell CDs, we're the best, and then they were also screwing artists over with that. That's another thing the internet does, is it brings power back to the artists. But I'll get to that in a second. So then the next thing that came with the internet, right, is just people being able to release their own music, and that's with the rise of like mixtapes and stuff. Like Lil Wayne, for example, right? He's the reason he's as famous as he is now isn't because of the albums he was putting out. It's because of all the mixtapes he was doing, like the No Ceiling series, like the Drought series, like there's another one off the top of my head I'm not remembering. He just put another one out like 2 years ago, but yeah, there's all that that came with it. You see, and then you see the rise of other artists like Drake. He rose because of his mixtapes, because of Comeback Season, So Far Gone. You see artists like A$AP Rocky, who I think his first, I can't remember his first EP or mixtape off the top of my head. People like Travis Scott with Owl Pharaoh and Days Before Rodeo. Like that was all the mixtape era, right? Which without the internet would not have spread as far as it did. And we have all these successful artists who wouldn't have popped up. And then now you have the SoundCloud and post-SoundCloud era, right? Where anybody can upload a song on YouTube, on SoundCloud. If people like it, it goes viral. All you need is a computer now. You don't need 100 different machines. You don't need physical compressors. You don't need physical EQs, blah, 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 physical reverb. It's all digital now. You just need a good engineer and talent, and you can blow up. And I think that's the issue that comes with that, though, that we're seeing now is oversaturation, right? You go on the internet, there's 10,000 people trying to do the same thing. So it's a part of what the internet does is it oversaturates. So rather than sticking to artists, people stick to songs, right? So they'll pick a song they like from an artist, but then they'll just pick the song and then pick a song from the next artist that blows up. So it's a challenge that's come on now, especially with the TikTok era, which I've talked about a lot, but it's pretty important in music now, where you get these viral songs every 2 months, and then you never hear from those artists again. What's the one artist? I think it's the guy who did Antisocial. You know the you know what song I'm talking about? Like I'm only 14, but I'm gonna get me a Grammy. She told me anyway.
I would have to hear the song.
But that song, like I haven't heard a single other song from that artist. Like I'm trying to think of other examples. There's other examples. But then you see songs where people have staying power, like the guy from Cambridge, 347 Aiden. He had his dancing in his room song. Massive hit.
Yeah, I still listen to that.
Yeah, it's a great song. What is
it's
it?
a good song.
300,000 or 300 million listens. And then his new stuff, obviously, it's not as big, but he's still sticking around. He's getting tens of millions of listens on his new songs. But the reason is because he's a unique artist. That's the whole thing. He's sticking out. And yeah, that's what the internet. To get to my point, because I've kind of been rambling. What in 2022, hopefully 2023 too. What the internet's done is made it so that the only way for people to be successful is for people to be unique and good. Because if you're not unique and good, even if you have one hit song, you aren't staying around.
That's so true.
Yeah, it took me a while to get there, but.
And what advice would you give people that are getting into this industry?
Like into
the music.
Getting into music. First things first, don't release anything until you're good. And that doesn't mean don't make till you're good. Show your friends, show your family, show people. Don't put anything out. Because once you put things out, the moment you put out a bad song as your first song, anybody who's like, oh, they're rap now, oh, they sing now, oh, they make music now, they're going to hear the bad song, they'll write you off forever. And
that's so true.
Getting people's trust back, getting people to check something out after you've already disappointed them initially, and their only reference is something bad, is so much harder than just putting out something good first. So that's the very first thing. Is make sure you're putting something good out. The second thing is, don't just chase trends and try and be like what the successful people are. Try and copy them to a T. Just be yourself. Make the music that comes to you. And I know that's so incredibly vague, and I know it's so incredibly hard because it took me a while to do it. It took me 2.5 years to start doing music like that. But that's the whole point. That's why you wait. Is so your music gets to that point, and then it's more personal to you. Yeah, those are my two things. Just wait till you're good before you start putting your music out in the public, and just be yourself when it comes to the music.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years?
5 to 10 years? Ooh, that's a tough one. There's a lot of places I could go. If we're going the most optimistic route, I guess I'm just successful. I'm able to. The place I want to be in 10 years is I'm able to make money off my music to the point where it's all I have to do. So I don't have to be, Drake. I don't have to be like a millionaire off music or whatever. I just have to be, and I want to be. Well, obviously, I'd want to be somewhere in that position where everybody knows me, whatever. But ideally, and where I think I reasonably can be in 10 years, is a place where I'm able to release my music, people enjoy, a small selection, maybe a couple thousand people, but I can go around, I can tour, small shows, but enough to support me, sell some merch, be a little, like an underground artist that is able to survive them. And I think that's a realistic goal for the next 5 years at least. 10 years maybe way up, but most of getting big is luck, right?
Right.
It's just being discovered by the right people, having the right people hear you, being marketed by the right people. Hoping people like your music. Because it can be the greatest music in the world to some people, but the rest don't like it. Like take, Death Grips? They're kind of, they're not underground or anything, they're pretty popular. But their music is very sonically different, so it's very harsh.
Like screamo?
Kind of like they're a rap group though.
Might have heard of them.
I'd recommend you listen to a few of their songs because they're very interesting to
Show
listen
me
to.
after the interview.
I'll show you after.
Show me after the interview.
But it's their music is very polarized. So to some people, it's the greatest music they've ever heard. But to 90% of people, they'll be like, "What is this? This is garbage. Turn it off."
Right.
So yeah, that's the hard thing. It's just, as being an artist, it's just.
You're doing a good job.
Yeah, I try. Is making music, and even if it's the best thing to some people, it might not be for everyone. Which is why I see being a artist that can live off their money or live off their music rather than an artist that's on top of the world as being a more realistic goal. So that's that.
And where can fans follow you, and any message you want to tell your fans?
So fans can follow me on my TikTok, which is vaf_music, on my Instagram v.a.f_. You can follow me on, or you can follow me on Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Music, everything, Amazon Music, all v.a.f, and that's where you can find all my stuff. A message to my fans or anybody who's seeing this interview and thinks, oh, this guy's kind of cool. It's just everything I do is for myself. If you don't like a song or you don't like a project I put out, please don't just think it's over. Be like, oh, this guy sucks now. He's bad. Because I guarantee you the next one's gonna be completely different.
Yeah, like what I notice with artists especially, guys just keep supporting them to, you know, if you don't like one song, just keep supporting.
Yeah.
Because I've heard so many artists where I'm just like, I don't like this song, but I like this song better.
Yeah, it's like
I mean, I love all artists that I've interviewed or any artist that
Right.
like messaged me or anything, but like, you know,
Yeah, I know exactly
I'm
what
gonna
you
be very blunt. I'm gonna be like, hey, like this is not something of my cup of tea, but I'll definitely send it to someone else who might be like, hey, I love this song, but I'll always get good criticism back because I work strongly with I know a lot of few music producers, so sometimes when I show music, or especially, you know, some music producers that I talk to, I can show them a song and right away they can hear everything.
Yeah,
My brain
like
has been
that-
trained to like how they recorded it. My brain's trained of like I know how well the producer has like mixed it.
And
because my brain
for people
can
in
pick that up.
music and in media, like the mix is so important.
I
Like
know,
like
the
I
mix is
listen
so-
to song like professionally mixed like songs. I'm like, this sounds not like this one part of the mix does not sound great, or this was a really weird choice on the vocals or whatever. And I'm no pro. Like I'm not a good mixer. I'm not a good engineer, but like it's just having that knowledge, right? It's just hearing it. And being able to pick it out can just ruin a song for you.